Welcome back to God's Money. We are so excited to be doing this podcast for you. As we've told you in the past, we've been doing God's Money as a radio show for 20 years, and now we're doing it as a podcast. We're excited to be with you. I'm asked all the time, Don, why did you start calling it God's Money? I am completely convinced that everything that we have is really just given to us to steward. In other words, to watch over, to manage. Nothing we have belongs to us. We don't have any divine ownership. Divine ownership is really what it's all about because God owns everything forever. The Bible tells us he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. But here's a really interesting verse. It's from 1 Chronicles. When David was building the temple, he asked everybody to put all their gold and their silver and all their great stuff into the treasury. And when he said that, he told the people this. He says, "For all that is in heaven and in the earth belongs to God. Yours, O God, is the kingdom, and you are exalted as head above all things. Both riches and honor come of you, and you reign over all. And in your hand is power and might, and in your divine hand everything is made great, and you give strength to all of us." This verse is so cool because here David at the end of his life is obviously an extremely wealthy man. The Bible tells us that his son Solomon became the richest man of all time. But he's saying right here, nothing belongs to him. He did not take ownership of everything. And if you really want to have a life which is not only pleasing to God, but pleasing to yourself, I really believe that the greatest way to do that is to understand that you do not own anything. That everything that you have is God's. And that you've been just given the opportunity to steward that. Now, what does it mean to steward? Steward comes from two words, stew and ward. English words. Stew means everything in the house. So when people would make a stew, they would take all the stuff that was in the kitchen and they would throw it into a big pot and they would make a stew. So everything that's in the kitchen became the stew. And what is a ward? Well, remember back in the day, they used to have hospital wards. They would have wards of the state. A ward is somebody that is taken care of, or a place where you are taken care of. So put those two words together, all that is of the house, taken care of by you. So if you are a steward, it doesn't belong to you. You're essentially watching over these assets for somebody else. And one day you're going to have to give an account for how you took care of those assets. To me, stewardship is really the heart of why we call this God's money. We want to be stewards. We want to be people that truly understand that all that we have is God's. It's not ours. It's his. As we begin this program with you and as we continue in these podcasts, you're going to hear me say the word God's money all the time. It's because I am completely convinced that we do not own anything. We are just stewards. And so when we make decisions about how we spend our money, whether it's on a pair of sandals or it's on a house that you have on a beach somewhere where you'd use those sandals, think about these questions. The first question is this something that's going to glorify God? Is it something that he'd want us to own? By the way, the answer is not always no. The answer is very obviously yes on several occasions. Are you ready to utilize the things that God has for something greater than yourself? Are you willing to use it so that other people can be blessed? Or is it really just all about me? At the end of the day, a steward is working for the master, not the other way around. If we're working for the master, are we taking these funds that God has given us and are we using them in the best way possible for him? We hope that you'll join us on social media. At the end of our program, there'll be a link where you can go to our website, which is godsmoney.com, or donaldfwhite.com, which is my speaking website, or you can obviously join us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that craziness. So look forward to seeing you again. Until then, God bless you.